Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Another episode of Four Quarters Podcast, man.
Four Quarters Pod. We're back at it.
Back at it once again. Another Tuesday night. Man.
How about it? I think as we stand right now, we're at about 250, a little over 250 subs on YouTube. So we appreciate y'all, man, tuning in. We gotta get some milestones, some subscriber milestones going, Jake.
For sure, we do. We definitely do. Nah, we want to appreciate y'all for letting us rock, man, and hitting the subscribe button on that page, and keeping the followers moving up, and we're gonna try and keep being consistent for y'all. Keep coming up with one more content, man. That's always the goal. But yeah, let's get right into it, man. First quarter. So 2 games today. First one, Knicks-Pacers. It was game 5 in MSG. Big game, and the Knicks came out and they weren't playing around.
I mean, there's a crazy energy there to where it's like it feels like it's really hard for them to lose at MSG.
For sure, yeah, especially the Knicks fans haven't had something to root for like this in a minute, and they're on pins and needles every game. They're ready to explode every night in that arena. So it's definitely a tough place to play in the playoffs. That's like I love watching Knicks games on TV because it always looks crazy. Like the fans are always going berserk. You got all the stars on the sideline just like you do in LA. So it's good to see. I'm happy the Knicks are good again. It is nothing but help the game of basketball anyway. So like it makes it more exciting. So I'm all for it. But we'll see what happens in Game 6 because they couldn't get one in Indiana, so we'll see if they can get one. Yeah,
I mean, it's almost like a very up and down for the Knicks because of how much energy goes into their wins. Like, they're killing the glass. It's the offensive glass at that. And so it's a very tiring recipe for wins, and the margin of error is very slim because you have to win every 50-50 ball. You have to make every big shot. Yeah. Like those threes where you're down 5.
Gotta make those.
Cut it to 2. Yeah. Like Josh Hart is hitting those right now. McBride is hitting those right now. So it's like, or to push a lead to 10. You're up 7 or you're up 6 and you get to 9 or 10. They're hitting those shots, and when they're hitting those and they're crashing the glass and they're hustling, it's working for them, but it's tiring. Recipe for success.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially role players always play better at home, and you can just tell. The McBrides are making shots. Alex Burks had a big game.
Burks.
He needs to play more. He had a big game 3. Everyone had a bad game 4. But he's playing when he plays well. He's a tough piece off the bench.
Yeah, veteran. He's been a guy on teams where it's like, okay, he's probably in the top 3 of the rotation. Alex Burks, we call him plays for him. He's expected to get 18 a night.
Right.
So he's has experience in that. A good vet. Even in a little ahead of his time coming in the era, I think pre 3-point shot. Crazy. He was kind of on trend with that on the ball a lot, taking off the dribble shots and things like that. So a good kind of tool to have on your roster if you're depleted of some offense. You might want to turn to Alec Burks.
Especially because the Knicks can have those moments where their dudes just kind of get tired. Like they've been going for 45 straight minutes in back-to-back games. It's going to catch up to you at some point. But so far, it's been working for them. They're going back to Indiana up 3-2. Games Thursday, which is going to be a crazy game. It's going to be rocking in Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton had another one of those games where he wasn't shooting the ball. You can't have those. When they were winning Indiana, he was averaging 28.
Yeah.
You can't do that, especially on the road.
28 and 12. It's kind of crazy. So having that big of a hole in your production on your team is, you got to elevate in the playoffs.
Got to.
And it seems like I was going to say stars at MSG, it's they either play really great or just you going to kind of flame out. Yeah. So that's interesting.
It's one of those pressure cookers, man. It's a tough place to play. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, he had such a good game 3 and 4 that you think he just keep doing what he was doing. I don't know why he changed the way he was playing. Shoot the ball more. He's shooting 10 threes a game in Indiana. Gotta get them things up. I mean, that's the only way you're gonna put the ball in the basket.
I mean, they gotta go with what's got them to the dance to this point. Y'all never was a tough, physical, defending, defensive team. You got to get timely stops, but y'all were the
Push the pace.
running gun of the team of the league, running gun team of the league. So literally top 5 offense. So you got to lean on that. You have to lean on it. You know,
because the Knicks they want to play slow, especially with their no bench, not really having a bench. They don't want to play like that. And in games 3 and 4, they were moving that thing. They were running and gunning, lobs, quick plays. That's how they play.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm gonna force the Knicks to let's see how bad y'all really want to grind, because I'm gonna force them to look at that, because we are a pace team. So
So we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting one. Brunson had another 40 ball. Another light 40.
Light 40.
Another light 40. Just nonchalant.
Would have been 2 in a row if he didn't sit out the third of the last game. So
that man,
it's tough. He's tough.
They have to stop putting Nembhard on this guy. He can't guard him.
He can't really. Yeah, he can't. Nembhard's better with wings. I think
he's more of a point guard.
Yeah,
and Jalen Brunson's a point guard, but he's just too good. You need somebody with some more size, at least, to have a chance to contest some of those shots. Like Neesmith has a better chance. He can't guard him, but he has a better chance. Like no one can guard the guy.
Yeah.
So you got to pick your poison, but you can't let him go for 40 every night.
Can we get you to 29 or 30? Does it have to be 40?
Does it have to be 40?
Yeah. 28, you did really good.
Solid. But we can live with 28.
I want to do 45.
But we can't live with 40.
You just gave me 39. So
you can't have 40 in 3 out of 5 games you've played. You can't have that.
No.
Someone's got to step up and guard this kid.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys who he has it rolling right now, man. Look, I'm not saying he can't always do this. He's been hit a hell of a season, hell of a year. One of the best free agent signings we've had in a while, especially the Knicks. But he's rolling. I'm not taking nothing away from the kid. The kid is absolutely rolling right now. So I don't know what to do to stop him, if there is anything you can do.
He's just that good. He's a superstar point guard. So he doesn't remind me of this player game wise, but as far as their approach to the game and the stress that they put on the defense, and as far as finishing in the paint as smaller guys, this run very gives me AI, Allen Iverson.
For sure.
Point superstar scoring point guard, go get 30. Everybody else grind, crash, and set screens and get him the ball. And let's get him downhill. And his finishing ability at his size is very elite. His flow game is crazy. Flow game, put guys on his back, take the bump. Go into the chest of a big, throw it right over the rim.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's almost in that category for me, to that AI, that Marbury, that can take me to that era, that mentality.
Yeah.
I'm on my way, crash, unless,
Let me rock. Yeah, I'll keep us in the game.
Right.
I'm going to keep us in the game.
Yeah.
He's hitting all the big shots.
And he's going dog on D, too.
Oh, yeah, don't play around. Don't play around with the ball over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's facts. He's tough. Yeah. He's an old school guard in the new era, and he's showing why the mid-range game is key and why it's still a viable asset in the NBA. Him and Shea are the two midi killers right now, and it's great to see. It's great to see. Other game that happened tonight that just ended, Nuggets go up 3-2 on the Wolves, won 3 straight on these boys.
You know what? You brought them up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think I said it before, but let me put it on a record. I'm done hating on Jokic. I'm done hating on him, man.
It's so hard to hate on a kid, bro.
Yeah. He's, he does some things. Everybody has little tricks of the trade to their game that they kind of exploit the game with. Everybody's had it. But just his IQ, he's a dog out there.
He's so
a dog.
Tough. He's so tough.
He's put it on the deck just enough, a little bit, put you on his hip, take the contact, got floaters and hook shots, and it's refreshing to see a big man with this array of shots. I like that.
it's this season and this playoffs is kind of showing how the NBA is going to get back kind of to the true center power forward era again. How we lost it for like 5-10 years, and how it's all coming back because that's how it works. Things cycle through. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Eras ends, trends end, and now the center is going to have to make a comeback because someone have to know how to guard this man because no one can guard him.
I think
we also said last episode that we're like we thought that we had that we kind of have maybe figured them out. You need 3 more bigs, rotate them, and he shut us up quick because he been putting on a goddamn performance the last 3 games.
I mean, to go get 2 games in Denver, there's some validity to
in Minnesota.
Yeah. To start the series.
I'm sorry.
For me to go get 2 on the road to start the series, there's something to what you're doing there.
Fair.
I think that. Much like playing the Warriors or the Spurs, you've got to be locked in the whole 48. That's how efficient of a machine they are. Yeah. That one little floater where you didn't really guard him and you just let him throw it right over you. That's the one that now his 3-pointer feels good.
Yeah.
Now you're over helping on the little hook shot because you've been getting cooked, and now it's over. So it's like. You have to be locked into what they're doing the whole amount of time. And it just looks a little different because you got a passing point big and like Jamal Murray. It's a very unorthodox style of ball to guard and deal with.
100%. Because the center is basically a point guard. All the offense runs to him.
He's triggering like 80% of what Denver's doing.
Yeah.
But that 20%, that like 15 to 18% Murray's doing triggering is like deadly though.
Yeah. Those are the game winners.
Yeah, those are the game winners. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
He got the last 9 in the fourth. Like,
and then it's crazy because like tonight, Jokic just turned on the scoring, but like I'm gonna just go at it. I'm gonna just be an offensive threat. This whole he always is a threat, but he has moments where I'm just gonna pass for this quarter. I'm gonna get everybody else involved this quarter. I'm gonna just swing it around, and then tonight in the third quarter, he's like, you know what? I got it. Just give me the ball. Rudy Gobert cannot guard me. He can't. Defensive player of the year can't guard me.
I don't know. It looked a little personal.
It was nasty.
Yeah, towards the middle of that game, I don't know if Rudy said something. I don't know if it's some EuroLeague, Serbian, France.
Maybe.
But it looked a little personal because Jokic pulled out some things that he rarely, to your point,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm like, he was clearing out on the wing. Like, let me
get out the way. Yeah, let me get it. I got it.
I'm like, whoa.
Fake spin, hook.
Yeah.
Fake spin, under, up and under. Like, he's tough.
Yeah. Like,
he's so tough.
That was the most. It was something about this game that I saw like him go get some buckets tonight that I was like, this is personal. Like, I don't know what Rudy did.
Yeah, he's the Nuggets figured something out and they're rolling again. So I don't know if Minnesota can get another one the way they're playing right now. I mean, especially defensively, they've decided, look, we're gonna get the ball at 80 hands every possession. He's not gonna beat us. And I don't know if the Timberwolves have enough shooting to keep them in these games. Like Cat played better tonight. Yeah. But Jaylen Williams isn't a huge 3-point threat. He can make shots if he gets going, of course. He's in the NBA. But like he's not a huge threat. Alexander Walker is an okay 3-point shooter. I wouldn't say he's prolific or anything like that. They're more of a defensive team, which is why they got this far. Mike Conley not playing tonight hurt them a lot.
I was just about to say we got to mention that because
that hurt them a lot.
That's able to put AE more on the wing, get some easier looks. Yeah, so
can run some more off-ball actions and stuff like that. So he's a big piece. I don't even know what happened while he was hurt. Or what happened?
Apparently, he hurt the game before this. He hurt his like calf or something coming down on the shot.
Got it.
Yeah,
them calves linger, boy, especially at that age.
Yeah, especially he's been around the block. It's probably not the first leg injury he's had.
Yeah, he's probably been playing hurt all season, low key, because that's how everyone is at this point. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a dogfight game 6. At least they're going back home. They can hope we can rely on that crowd. But you also haven't won a game at home this series. So are you even comfortable at the crib?
Denver. It looks like we blinked in a week, and it felt like Denver just stole back home court all of a sudden. And it's like, Denver's got an elimination game.
It feels like they're favorites again. I feel like they're back to being the favorites again. Like here they are. We literally blinked and they're back.
They're playing the best basketball right now.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say so. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I mean, AE was like 3 for 13 in there or something like that. Just couldn't get going. The double teams were really going really messing them up. So we'll see what happens, man. Game 6 is going to be an interesting one. I'm very curious to see how these young boys respond and see if they can come out of there with a dub. But we'll see. We'll see.
It's gonna be a tough one. If we go quick picks, I'm gonna say Denver ends it. I'm saying Denver ends it in many.
Yeah, it's funny we've changed the narrative completely since last episode. We
were
like 4 off. That's how the NBA works. Like every game, you have different emotions about who's gonna win this, who's gonna win that. We're done. It's over. Like that's how it works. The NBA playoffs.
Originally, I had many in 5.
You did. We're looking great. Last week.
Yeah,
you look like a genius last week.
Right. I mean, this is before they won 2 in a row.
It was. I saw the tweet. I seen the tweet.
Yeah. So it's but like you said, this is how fast things will flip in the NBA, right?
Especially in the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
And then I do got Indiana winning Game 6. I think it's going 7, going back to New York.
I like that. I agree.
I think it's going 7 back to New York.
I think Indiana runs New York again in Indiana. They run them, and then it goes to New York, and we're in for a war.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be. It might not be a blowout. It might be maybe a 10, 12 point win down the line. But I think they'll be in the lead most of the game, kind of control the game. Because they have to, you know what I mean? It's desperation, closeout game, and they always say how it is to win closeout games, especially on the road.
Yeah. No, I think I agree. It'll be a good game down to.
And that Game 7, woo!
Yeah.
I was talking to my uncle because he coached for the Knicks with Fisher with D Fish back in the day. And he was saying the one thing about Knicks fans is like they be waiting for the other shoe to drop. They be just waiting for them to lose. Like they're always like really rooting for them, but in the back of their head they're just waiting for the other shoe to drop so they can be like, damn, we lost again.
That's why every playoff win looks like a damn spectacle outside of MSG. Like when you look on TikTok and stuff, and it's like, man, this is like they celebrating like this is. The finals are already, you know?
Facts.
But that's how much they cherish being in this moment because of how much disappointment they've had.
Yeah. You know? It's been it's gonna be a good one. All right, y'all. It's in the first quarter. We'll be back in a second.
All right now.
Second quarter, y'all. We're back at it.
Quarter two.
All right. The other 2 games that happened the other day and that were great as well. Well, one was good. The other one was okay. I'm gonna go with the Cavs-Celtics first because that series it's been the most boring series so far in the second round. I would say.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the Celtics are gonna win this series. I think everyone was surprised when the Cavs got Game 2 when they were shooting the lights out in Boston.
Yep.
But no Donovan Mitchell Game 4 just was like, damn, like that hurt. That hurt my viewing experience for sure. I was really looking forward to that game because he has 40, you never know what could happen. You know what I mean? And if Cleveland makes it a series, the championship's up for grabs.
I mean, any given game, he could be the best player in a series. You know,
100%.
So not having him, you start to feel like maybe. Did he play his last game as a Cav in this, because of this series? And
it's a great question.
So
I just don't know if they have enough to win the championship. They don't have enough for me to win the championship anyways with him. How old is he now? It's going on, 28-ish?
Yeah.
Right? Something like that?
Yeah, because he was in Utah for a good 5 years, I would say.
Yeah, so...
And he was like a 2-year guy out of...
He's been in the playoffs every year of his career.
Yeah.
He's a playoff guy, averages like 25, 26 in the playoffs.
He directly affects winning. And just the talent level of your team, I think he directly affects that. When you're talking about 25, 5, and 5,
anybody can use that.
Yeah, in his sleep.
Yeah, he can get you 50 whenever too.
Yeah. I mean, pull out the bag in a big game.
He was unreal. He was unreal in that first round. Against Orlando. Speaking of Orlando, that's somewhere he could go. Orlando would be a great move.
That would be a great fit.
Great
Maybe
move
he
for
says,
them.
"Man, we almost could have went 7 with these guys." So I go,
That would be crazy.
probably a little more fun in Orlando than Cleveland.
I would assume so.
Okay,
That's what I'm gonna assume that. I haven't been to Cleveland.
right.
I've been to Orlando once, I think, back in the day. I'm gonna assume that Orlando's a little more fun than Cleveland.
Right.
That's all I'm assuming. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you can rock a T-shirt year round for sure.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say I'm going to Cleveland to vacation, but I mean, people go to Orlando all the time.
You're right. Yeah, for
So
sure.
that's all I'm gonna say.
Disney World.
Yeah, they got something over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that would be an interesting move if he wants to do something like that.
I thought the
There's
Lakers
always that option. It's always that option. There's always the Knicks.
All the reporting is saying Lakers are in line, or the first in line. When you look at
the first line for everybody usually is the Lakers.
That's true.
Anyone wants to be a Laker, and then you get there, it's like shit. This is a lot. That's how it always works. But we'll see. From afar, the Lakers always look great. If you're a free agent, you live in LA.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Like you said, when you get here and you start playing the game,
it might be a little different once you get here and you're not playing and have a bad little stretch. But from afar, if I'm in Cleveland and we're not, or if I'm in Charlotte or something and we're not winning, LA look great.
Yeah,
LA look phenomenal.
Win or lose,
they look way better than where I'm at over here. It's LA.
Yeah.
So they're all gonna have free agent opportunities because it's the Lakers. But we'll see what happens with that. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, is his contract up this year or is he still under contract? Would it be like a trade thing?
No, I think he's I want to say he's a pending free agent.
Okay.
Like he's coming up this summer. He'll be available. I want to.
Okay.
Let me.
Yeah, we have to fact check that one.
But he would. I mean, Miami's another great.
Even now, San Antonio could be a solid fit.
Man, I can't see they're the sleeper.
You know what I mean? Because not only you going to play with Wemby, who could possibly be a generational talent, you got Pop over there as well. You get a great coach. You're gonna get a stable system. So you got that. Cause I don't know how much longer Pop's gonna coach for. I'm sure he's not trying to go nowhere now because he got Wemby, but that man is up there. He ain't a young man no more.
So you're saying that's a factor of like, do I go there? How long do I got Pop?
It's a valid question to ask.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
At this point in his career, you know what I mean.
I agree. You trust the Spurs to handle the
100%,
the bridge out.
For sure. But you still want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a free agent, like, all right, do I got 5 years? Is it like a one contract thing, possible 2? Right. That just let you know how long you have to how long your window is.
It's Pop like, yo, we going to get D-Mitch this year, and I'm going for a title. We don't get the title with D-Mitch and Wemby right here. Like,
I'm out. Right. Yeah, like what's going on? That's gonna be a factor down the line for sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we'll see. It's gonna be, but yeah, that series is wraps. It's going back to Boston.
By the way, he's a player option. D-Mitch that he hasn't used yet, so he's pretty much.
So he's basically a free agent if he wants to be.
Right.
Okay, cool. Got it. All right, good to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We got a couple interesting free agents this year, this upcoming summer. So we'll see how that works. But Boston should seal this up in game 5. They just seal that up. I think they're gonna end up probably blowing them out. I don't know if D-Mitch is gonna play. He has another calf thing as well, so I'm sure that's not gonna get better than extra days of rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you don't want to be prolonging no injuries when you start going in money time signing contracts.
That is true as well. You want to go into money time healthy for sure.
Yeah.
So that's probably sealed up. The other series we got the Mavs-OKC. OKC won a big game 4 the other night.
Dude, I was surprised.
Huge game 4. Showed a lot of maturity for that young group.
Yeah, I thought that Dallas had kind of wrestled control of that series.
I thought so too.
Luka, the combination of Luka and Kyrie was looking a little bit too much for just Shea.
Yeah.
Right. Shea and who else is coming along? Because if Luka and Kyrie are going off, Chet 16 and 17 is nice, but it's not going to be quite enough.
Yeah.
Giddy is. What are you getting from Giddy? What are you getting from J-Dub? J-Dub's really come along.
He's playing well.
But sometimes I need that 27, not the 18. That's just playoff basketball.
Yeah, it's
that's
different.
Where we're at. It's tough.
Yeah. But that's the thing about this that game 4 was Kyrie only had 9 points.
Yep.
Can't happen. It can't
And
happen.
vice versa for Dallas, right? Luka has to join Kyrie. Kyrie has to drive with Luka too. So
the last game 3, he got away with it because they won. You know what I mean? He only had 11 or some points. He didn't play bad. He had 11 assists. He was playing solid, but he's not looking to attack like he usually does. I don't know. It's because Peter Washington's really going. He's trying to keep him involved. He's been balling.
But they
don't need Kyrie. If they win this series, he's gonna have to have another 25, 30-point game. For sure. At least one of them for them to win this series.
Yeah,
because now it's gonna go 7
for sure.
I see it going 7 now.
Who has home court?
OKC. But each team has won a game on the road. Each team they're 1-1 on home court in the way. So it's you know what I mean. They both won 1 on the road and lost on the road. So we'll see.
I don't know. I don't think Dallas definitely don't want a game 7 in OKC.
No, you want to avoid that if you can. It's going to be too loud in there. Then the white folks barking.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
You don't deal with that.
Come on, they're gonna be saying some crazy things to Kyrie Irving, man.
You don't deal with that. You don't want to have to deal with them.
So what's the count there? They just tied it up 2-2.
2-2 going back to OKC games to Wednesday night.
I thought Dallas. Don't play with your food. Don't play with your food.
Yeah, you can't let a young team like that get going. I mean, to really get back on the series like that. The one thing that's for sure with OKC is Shai gonna get his 30. He gonna get 30. Yeah. That's a certain. He gonna get his 30, and then everybody else gonna tag along, like you said, because 16, 17 needs to be more like 20, 25.
Absolutely.
If they want to win, if they want to win the whole thing to start off.
And J-Dub, because what's dangerous about what Dallas did now for J-Dub and OKC, now I think you got Jaylen Williams could look like, wait a minute, could I be the second, third best player in this series? Right. If Luka and Kyrie gonna, lay eggs here and there and trade off, it's Shai like you said, Shai's getting his 30. If I can get this little 22,
we're good.
We're in business.
We're good. So they're like a smaller Tatum and Jaylen Brown than me.
Yeah.
Scoring wise, if they're both going, they're really hard to beat.
Yeah. They both make shots. I mean?
But Shai's more consistent to me than Tatum is.
From an offensive
scoring perspective, you're gonna get at least 28 from this kid every single night.
He's pushing the pace. He's trying to get to the line.
He knows when it's time to score, when it's time to facilitate, and then all right, it's fourth quarter. I'm get out the way. I'm shooting the ball.
100%.
And speaking of the midi we talked about last quarter, this man's midi is top tier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top tier.
Baseline. Elbows,
spin move, pump fake, floaters, and then you forget he's 6'6" when you go to the rim. He'll punch on you low key. Don't sleep.
He'll punch on you, and when he gets to that back down game where turns his dribble, you're so at his mercy because like you said, that's a big guard.
The love. So I'm happy that Anthony Edwards is getting all the love he's getting because he deserves it. But the media needs to start talking about Shai a little more because he's doing just as much as Anthony Edwards is, and they're tied 2-2. They could be going up 3-2 if they win this game Wednesday, and he's been on fire.
And Shai Gilgeous is I thought had a really. I would be interested to match this year up with other MVP years and other great MVP seasons we've seen because of the 30 a game and the 1 seed. Mm-hmm. Don't want to belabor the MVP talk too much, but what he's done this year and what he's doing in the playoffs for his team. OKC, they found him one for the next.
Next
however long 10, he want to
be. Facts. Because he's special. Yeah, he's special.
Yeah.
So the Mavs got a dogfight in their hands Wednesday night. Luka gotta come to play. Gotta be more efficient. They gotta push the pace, and Kyrie gotta look to score. I'm not saying he gotta get 40, but he gotta give me at least 20, 23 absolutely. At minimum 20.
I just think it's so dangerous how they've let Jaylen Williams in this series. I think that's real dangerous. Yeah. He feeling like a 6'7" Kyrie now.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, he has been guarding Kyrie. And then maybe that size has been bothering Kyrie. He's trying to shoot a little bit, but when it comes to Kyrie, I don't really think defenders are an issue. He can get a shot off. He want to get a shot off.
No. I agree with you. I agree with you. It's just going to be how do you counter? Now, maybe you get him off some curls, some pin downs on the catch, high pick and roll him more.
Yeah. Just get in more scoring areas.
Yeah.
But PJ Washington been playing his ass off.
He's good money.
That man's about to get himself paid.
Good found money under the couch.
He about to get himself paid. A nice piece of change the way he's playing.
He'll stay there in Dallas too.
He should.
Yeah, he's
a great piece for them.
He's that wing they've been looking for Luka, to where we don't have to feel like we're calling on Luka to guard a Shea or a Jaylen Williams or a Tatum.
Yeah.
Like, we're never, with a PJ Washington there, we're never going to call on Luka to play that level of defense ever again. Right. So it's always a deficiency for him, obviously. But you shouldn't ask a guy to go get 40, 10 and 10 and guard
the best player. That's insane.
So having PJ nailing that roll down for them is huge. Like, they've been looking for that. I think it's going to pay dividends down the line for a full season stretch too, so that Luka can rest during the year now better, hopefully,
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It just shows how much talent's in the NBA, because some dudes be just wasting away on teams and are just unreal, and they get to the right situation, how good they could be for a team, you know what I mean? So it always baffles me when it happens. Like, damn, he was over there in Charlotte just not playing bad, but have nights where he's just like, I don't care. We were 12 and 48. Like, this game don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? To go from that to like a playoff run, like, you can tell how much these games mean to how much harder he's playing, all that. So it's always fun to see when dudes, go from a bad team to a team that's contending a little bit to like, all right, let's see how good this dude really is. I saw one say about Bradley Beal, and he didn't disappoint me, but he lived to the standards I put him up there. I thought he was an all-star caliber player on the Wizards, and he still is. But I wasn't expecting like 20, 23 a game, and he wasn't doing that for me. And maybe it's because the personnel, but
we'll chalk it up to injuries with Bradley maybe this year.
He was injured all year.
He really got a rhythm.
Yeah,
but I see. I definitely know what you mean as far as like, it's cool to see those guys. Or you're like, you know what, that guy with that role, Malik Monk was like that on Charlotte,
right?
Yeah, coming in the same organization.
Yeah,
where I'm sure there's a lot of these. Like you said, there's so much talent in the NBA. There's probably you
got Gafford from the Wizards.
Another one from the Wizards.
You know what I mean? Like, who was wasting away over there in the Wizards. Now he's a starting center and playing great for Mavs.
Yeah, man.
So it's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We're in halftime. We'll see you in a second.
To the half.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. Back from half. Third quarter.
Back from half.
Let's talk about Bronny James. The the draft combine is this weekend. It started up finally out in Chicago. Ronnie had his first little measurements, 40, I think it was 40 and a half inch vert. He's like 6'1" and a half.
210. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Played in the scrimmage, played pretty well. I think he went like 19 for 25 or something like that from the three for his little shooting drill. Yep. He looks good. He looks comfortable. I'm happy he's healthy. He's playing.
True,
and yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for the kid. Personally, I'm rooting for the kid. I have no reason to not root for the kid. I don't know why people. I mean, I do know why people want him to fail because it's LeBron's son. If you don't like LeBron, you're not like his son. I get all that. But at the end of the day, this is a 19-year-old kid trying to, make his dream happen. And I'm rooting for the kid, bro. Like, I watched him at USC. I thought he has solid potential. UC isn't the best place to go if you want to get drafted high, anyways, in basketball, unless you're like a DeMar DeRozan type of killer or a scorer like that. But I think he looks solid. I think he's a solid role player in the NBA. Not everyone's going to be a superstar franchise player. There's more role players in the NBA than there are superstars. That's a fact. So I think he'll be just fine.
Totally agree. I think that if you look at guys who have come out early, or guys that we think have come out early in the past, guys used to come out of high school and flame out in the league all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think LeBron James' son is going to be okay. I mean, come on. I mean, the train. the training that he's had, the amount of high level basketball conversations and just scrimmages and film, game watching, probably with his pops that he's been around. It's a factor for me. It's a factor,
for sure.
and he has real NBA size.
Yeah,
the 6'1", 6'2", 210. I mean, and like you're saying, what's wrong with a Norris Cole, a Delonte West,
Mario Chalmers,
who's a Lou Dort was a name I heard earlier on OKC, like
Derek Fisher, who was a great role player, first round. Like there's different roles.
Like,
you don't have to be a superstar to be in the NBA.
Like those, I think Bronny he even had mentioned Derek White in his little interview. He was like, like,
Drew Holiday.
Hey, 4 years, 75. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with 4 years, 75 million?
Derek White just had like 35 in game 3 or something. He played great. Right. Like he don't get his numbers. Like he's not playing.
A lot of times he's the best player on ball.
Yeah.
So
I think he's gonna be just fine. He's a great defender, locks up. He plays basketball the right way, and you're gonna get rewarded for that down the line. That's just how it works.
I get really happy at every level, seeing him since his freshman year in high school, him just checking those boxes, making those milestones. Because I'm like, all the people that was like, I'm like, oh, crazy. Like, I don't think LeBron James' son can be, and he has the athleticism, he has the build, he has the genetics.
Right.
I don't think his son could be a pro athlete. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when people were saying like he's not even D1. I'm like, are y'all crazy?
I was like, what?
Yeah,
I was like, first off, you know how many Division I schools there are in the country? Let's start off with that.
Right.
2, yes, he's Division I. Stop it. That's crazy.
Yeah, so
that's nuts.
Yeah, I'm really excited to actually see him carve out that role. In a funny way, I kind of think he plays how LeBron wish he played. Like LeBron wishes he kind of played like that. I feel like more of a deadly catch and shoot, knockdown shooter.
Right.
You know, sit in the chair, get out, run, and just play smart basketball.
Yeah.
You know,
just be all around, do everything.
Yeah.
Because Bronny's gonna be. He has an IQ like you said. He can be a great passer. I'm not even worried about that. Shooting wise, he'll figure that out once it gets to the right situation and gets comfortable. But defensively is where he's gonna shine because he's gonna be able to guard. Like he reminds me of like a Jalen Suggs type of guard. Like really get up, defend, get up in you. You know what I mean? Like quick, heady, get steals, get a couple quick dunks, get the crowd going. Like he's gonna be one of those kind of guys. Just because he's gonna be an energy guy, which is not a bad thing at all, and he'll get better and better and better, and then he'll get the jumper better and all that, and then you know what I mean, he'll find his niche in the league. But I think he's gonna be just a solid pro. I don't know what round or what pick he'll go, just because with his last name, he can go end up being top 10 just off his name, and because they were trying to get LeBron, like we don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, about the name thing, I mean, the NBA pedigree stuff has worked really in the last 10 years almost now, if you look. I mean, just being around that type of training, like I said, those type of conversations, just that traveling, being on the road with games and stuff, learning the NBA travel, knowing what the NBA work day looks like, I think helps a lot of these kids like Steph, Clay. I'm missing some names. I know there's a few kids in the league right now of pros and stuff. So
no, I feel that. I feel that.
It's a big factor, I think, in this modern NIL, player first environment for basketball. Mm-hmm. I think that's huge to kind of like be on those AAU teams, like be on those, it introduces you.
Yeah, him being exposed to all that stuff early is not going to be a bad thing. It's going to only help him as he gets to the league.
Right.
He'll probably be a more mature rookie when he first comes in than most rookies because he's been in those locker rooms as a 5-6-year-old and been working out with in the facilities since he was 15. Like all that stuff helps. Because he's more familiar.
It's like, we on the road in Atlanta Friday night. What you about to do after the game, Ronnie? Should probably get dinner and go to the hotel.
Right. Like, I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Like. So yeah, I think I'm rooting for the kid, man. I hope he has a great. I just hope he gets drafted. I'm sure he will. I don't know where he's gonna go. But I'm just rooting for him. I hope he has a solid. Hope he plays well in summer league and all that good stuff. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him because that's gonna kind of feed into our next topic, which is the Lakers and the Lake Show and this coaching carousel that we've been on for the last 6 to 7 years. There's some names being thrown out there for the head coaching spot. We got JJ Reddick. Right. We got Kenny Atkinson, and the other one was Sam Cassell.
Sam Cassell, right. Apparently those are the finalists.
Those are the finalists that they're saying at the moment. Personally, if we're going to have to pick one out of those three, I'm going with Sam Cassell. Veteran guard was good as hell when he played. Very underrated. People don't talk about Sam Cassell enough. Yeah. All-star. Did he win a championship? I don't. Did he win? I'm not sure.
I want to say he was at the end of Boston's 08 bench.
Okay. So maybe has a ring.
He was on there. He was either on that bench or he was on that staff coaching.
Because he's in Boston right now, currently, right?
On the staff. I think he's on Ty Lue's staff. I'm gonna check that. But I think
he might be on Ty Lue's staff. He might be on Ty Lue's staff. I always see somebody I know in one of the benches.
No, he is on Boston. He is on Boston's
He's Boston, right? Yeah, he's on Boston. I thought I saw him in the background of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's in Boston. I mean, he's been around as an assistant for the last 5-6 years for a while. He's definitely
for a while. Yeah,
he's definitely ready to have the head coaching job. I think he be someone who's played that can kind of keep some people accountable to a degree, but not be too overbearing because like he did play. You know what I mean? Like you got to give him some kind of credit for that.
He did it at, like we said, he did it at a certain all-star level. So
yeah, it wasn't like no disrespect to Darvin Ham, but Darvin Ham wasn't an all-star level caliber player. Yeah. So it's just there's different levels to the NBA of different years.
Darvin knew one position. It was the dunker spot.
Yeah, and he made NBA in that spot. You got to be pretty good to get to the league doing just that.
Right.
So I'm gonna say he was pretty good.
In the world, right here
and catching that motherfucker and dunking it.
Yeah,
you got to be pretty good at that. So I'm gonna give him a little bit. I'm gonna give him credit for that. He made it to the league.
Right.
I'm not the guy.
So you like Sam, right?
I like Sam. I think he's the best player pedigree that can help with like experience, been around, that can help with the Lakers' troubles that we're having.
So I totally agree with you, right? From a logical coaching searching standpoint.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to say this. If I can say this, this is crazy.
Go ahead. Oh God, he about to go with a hot take.
Do I address the alien in the room?
Go ahead. It's on you.
When you coach the Lakers, okay, I'm gonna just say it. When you coach the Lakers, I think that your presence and your look has to have a certain vibe.
That's fair.
I think that's part of it.
That's fair.
And Sam Cassell, I just think
crazy. That's fair.
I just don't want the memes and the I don't want people to have too much fun with that, man.
That's a fair point. And we're Hollywood.
And we're not trying to shoot ET. Oh, my fault.
There you go. He already started. The man just had his name in the hat, and now he already gets a shot.
I'm sorry, I like Sam Cassell. Because he was one of my favorite point guards for real.
Yeah, I know he was. He was nice.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, when you coach the Lakers, it's like that's tough. You got to get up on the thing every game, and the people look at those type. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about exterior.
I get you.
People
the casual Laker fans, not the diehards.
The media, the LA's, New York. People look at these things, man. Like
I get it.
And
I get what you're saying.
Like
I get what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So
that's tough.
It's tough. It's tough.
He has the pedigree. He has the resume to do it.
He got the resume, but the man Darvin Ham got shot in the head as a kid, and people were circling the
that's
like,
crazy.
Oh, like so it's like
crazy. Yeah, you're right.
People attack things. You start you lose a tough game. People look for anything like because he looked. You know what I mean? So it's like
I get your point. It's a fair point.
And it's LA, so that's why I had to bring that up. It's tough for me to say that. But I had to keep it real. Like
that's fair. I can respect that take.
Yeah.
someone who's from and born and raised here, I know 100% what you mean.
Yeah. So
I get it.
Sometimes, and that's a huge Laker thing. I think for Jeannie Buss and the Lakers, you gotta have a look. I think it's a certain look who they want, and that's an LA thing. It's an LA thing. So in that regard, just go with JJ. If he's if he's good enough to make the finalists, y'all call Coach K, which I don't know. I can't remember if we broke that on 4 quarters or not.
You did say that, you did say that.
Call Coach K. Call Coach K.
Yeah, he's consulting now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you don't want to do it, what can we do? What do you like? Do you want to do it? Call Coach K. So if you call him Coach K, JJ went to Duke. He's a finalist. Bron likes him. He looks the part. Just hire JJ. Let's get him. Let's just hire him.
Let me ask you this. When JJ Reddick, not JJ. So when Jason Kidd retired, right after he retired, he went to go coach Brooklyn. Was out of there after a year. He has more of a pedigree and resume than JJ Reddick does, right? Do you think JJ Reddick going to have a better chance coaching in the Lakers, which is not Brooklyn? This is Los Angeles. Right. You lose 3 games, niggas are at your front door. I'm not saying JJ Reddick can't handle it because he's used to the media. He also hates the media, even though he's in the media. He still has a certain level of like distaste to him to a degree.
The grumpy player. Like
he's always like tells me like you don't know what you're talking about. I play. I know. You know what I mean? Like he has that level of arrogance to him, which I can understand. Right. Which I do agree with to a degree. Some of these people don't.
All the Duke guys had it back in the day.
Fair, and he was one of the best of the best when it comes to the Duke guys. Unreal. So I'm not saying he can't handle the job. It's just for your first coaching job ever. I'm not talking about a first assistant job. Like he's a coach at all in the league. Right. To do that for the Lakers is a lot to ask for somebody.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're saying is if we're gonna go with the first time former player, first year head coach, why don't we go with a Rondo over somebody with a little more cachet? If it's the first and somebody who when I watched him play, he plays like a coach.
JJ Reddick has had since his podcast has come out, he's been more of a broken down the game analyst, and he's really good at like explaining the game to the common person. He's very good at that. So I'm already knowing his basketball terminology is going to be through the roof. I'm not saying he can't coach. I'm not saying that. We don't know if he can coach. He's never done it before. That's the thing. That's my biggest thing. We just don't know. You don't know how good a coach you are till you coach. You just don't know. So we don't know how good he is at motivating players or dealing with egos. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, we just don't know. So I just think your first job as going to the Lakers, the biggest franchise in the NBA, maybe in the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Worldwide, yeah.
Worldwide is a lot. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying it's a lot to ask.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. Forgot what I was going to say. But yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, the Lakers love making a splash. So this will be a splash. That's for sure. I mean, it wouldn't get any crazier to watch LeBron playing who's damn near older than JJ Reddick, who's the coach.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to say. I think going back to the first time coach thing, I think the Steve Kerr situation is a little overblown because Steve Kerr was an architect and GM of one of the best offenses in the modern era we had seen in Phoenix with Steve Nash. Right. Though it's not coaching, you were in building those basketball teams. Yeah. You know.
You were in those conversations. You were in those rooms. You know what I mean? You're in those meetings. JJ Reddick hasn't done that. I don't think I'm saying. I'm not saying he can't. He just hasn't done it yet.
He hasn't done it. We haven't seen it in any capacity at the NBA level.
Or in any capacity, even in college, high school, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the guy. I'm just saying. Saying like that's the facts. Like he just hasn't coached anywhere yet.
The Steve Kerr story is totally overblown. Like, first time head coach. Yeah, but he was also like a 10-year GM of one of the best teams.
Was he? Didn't he coach under Pop for a little bit too?
I don't know about that. But he obviously played there at the
I know
end.
he played there. I don't think maybe he didn't coach. Maybe he was doing something else.
I don't think he was just doing TV and then GM.
He was doing TV. He was on TNT for a minute. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
that's a good point. Yeah, that is an overblown comparison for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's two different situations.
Yeah.
I mean, I think JJ he'd be a great coach. I'm not saying he wouldn't be a coach. I'm just curious to see can he handle the pressure.
Here's the other thought I had. That's crazy to me. Why can't JJ be on the staff? Why he got to get the
head coach? Right.
Yeah. Why he got to automatically just like jump? Yeah. Carousel or jump Kenny Atkinson, who's done it before.
That's what I'm saying. Put him on the staff. Make him a third, second assistant. See what he can do. See how he is at scouting. See how if he's good at doing all that kind of stuff. Because it's different than playing. It's just not the same. And well, I just they were jumping the gun a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
I would say so, but like I said, go back to my original point. If Bron's cool with it, y'all didn't call Coach K. Coach K not about to sit here and dog JJ Reddick over the phone to you.
Fair.
So he about to tell you, oh yeah, JJ, he's about to, he's smart. He was fiery. He could talk to the guys. He's gonna give you the good stuff about JJ. So if y'all doing that, it's like y'all call his reference. Y'all call his reference for the job. Like y'all was his reference, and y'all called it. So y'all really interested.
Clearly they're thinking about it.
Right.
Clearly. So, I would love if JJ get on the USA staff last minute, so give him a little experience.
That ain't bad at all.
Give him a little experience in the summer real quick with some of these dudes.
Roll and for that matter, coach the summer league team.
Yeah, that'd be great. You something. Get your feet wet.
Right, get some reps.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere.
Same way you get shots up.
That's just a wild first gig to give somebody. But we'll see. I mean, I wish him the best. He's Lakers are my squad, so I'm cool with it. I'm cool if it helps us win games. I'm cool. I just think it's a lot to ask for a first time coaching ever to coach the Lakers it's a lot to ask. But we'll see.
Another question I had for you was in regards to JJ Reddick. Do you think that, because you know how they say like sometimes your coach will rub off on how the team plays, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the mentality of that coach. Do you think the Lakers, if we do hire JJ, do you think we could become a better shooting team?
It's a good question.
You know what I mean? It doesn't work. Do you think does that kind of work? Like Steve Kerr did play, even though he was a shooter though when he played.
He was.
So it's kind of like he's letting them like, hey, if you could shoot from that far, go ahead, pull it.
That's a good. I don't know. That's a good question.
Is that a stretch?
It could be a stretch.
Yeah.
Only because Steve Kerr has the best shooter ever on the planet since he's been there, and then he has the second best one next to him as well.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit of a stretch, but I see where your head's at though.
Right. Maybe as far as maybe in free agency or scouting, he could say, no, this guy can shoot.
I do think that if JJ Reddick comes in, that they'll automatically just like have a better flow offensively, 100%. Like they'll have better actions. They'll have some go-tos, quick hitters. Because like JJ Reddick knows plays, he has those under his back pocket. Like the quick hitters were for him, so he knows what to do. He can get over the shot.
JJ was like, I averaged 15 on the back half of my career, so I know how to get open and get my shit off.
Exactly. So I think our offense will look better. I think it'll be a more smooth flowing offense. I don't know about his defensive coaching. I don't know about anything about that. He wasn't a defensive stopper. So like, is he good on schemes? We'll have to find all that out. You know what I mean? And I think he'll have to like learn on the job. Like he'll have to learn how to adjust mid game and like when to take players out and when to keep players in. And like, is he tired? Is he not tired? Is game 22? Do I play LeBron 38, 40 minutes tonight? Like you gotta think about all that.
Rotations is one of the hardest things I think that I would.
The hardest things.
I would rack my brain trying to coach live during the game. I think rotations are tough.
It's tough. Yeah. Like when it takes somebody out, especially if they're going and. It's tough.
Damn, coach, I was only in there for 3 minutes. Shit, it felt like 6.
Right.
Shit,
all them dead balls, all them fouls you was doing.
My fault.
Facts. Well, man, we'll see what happens with the Lakers, man. It's always some news with them, so I'm sure we'll have some new next week.
Absolutely. We'll have something new next week. So here at 4 quarters, we're not against the JJ hiring.
We're not.
Yeah.
Hey, if it helps the team get us some wins, I'm all for it. But
Bron
it'll
checked it
be.
off. Okay, checked it off. What could I say? You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and like I know more than them. So if
Right,
they
right.
sign off on it, clearly we're cool with it. Let's roll.
Let's rock.
Let's rock. Fuck it. All right, y'all. We'll hit the fourth quarter. We'll be back in a second.
All right.
Yeah. Fourth quarter winning time. We're back at it.
Fourth quarter.
Let's get after it. All right, start, bench, trade. All right.
Okay.
I got Paul George,
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell, and Damian Lillard.
Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, and Damian Lillard.
Yeah. Start, bench, trade.
Wow.
It's a tough one.
Wow.
I know.
I'm going to start Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Starting Donovan Mitchell. I think out of all those three, he's probably at the height of his powers right now.
Okay.
And what his ceiling is, he's able to do that night in, night out to the utmost degree. As far as like, averaging 27, 28 a night.
Facts.
He can go get you 6, 7 assists as well.
Yep.
I'm going to
This rig is tricky.
I'm gonna bench Damian Lillard.
Okay. Not mad at that.
Because that's the guy that I gotta trade the guy that got waived off, right? Didn't he waive him off in Portland?
Waive that man. He did waive that man off in Portland. That was nasty.
Yeah, and then he
Wow,
told him,
that's a good point. Wow, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't think about that.
He made him say, hey, he just made Paul George say, I'm gonna live with that. Well, you gonna live with going home. Okay?
Yeah.
Like you gonna live in Cancun, okay?
Yeah, that's tough.
So yeah, I'm gonna just go with the two dogs. I'm gonna just go with the two unbridled pit bulls. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, look, I have no problem with that. I am very similar to you. I'm gonna start Dame.
I like that.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Dame. I mean, listen, the dude can average 30 when he wants to. If he's by himself, it's a minimum 30 he don't average because he can put the ball in the back at the best, just as anybody in the league. He's one of the best scorers that we've seen. One of the best shooters from range that we've seen.
Period.
So I'm gonna go with Dame. I don't think he's been farther than Donovan Mitchell. I think they've both been to the. Has Donovan Mitchell been to the West Conference Finals or East Conference Finals? I know Dame went once and lost to Golden State.
I'm not
sure. I think it's all been second round losses. I think.
Yeah, always second round, but he's had some game sevens and things of that to degree.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna start Dame. I'm gonna bench Donovan. I gotta bench Donovan. I think out of the three, I'm getting more consistency out of these two dudes.
Yep.
Paul George sometimes can disappear on me. He's did that this year in his playoffs, a couple games where he'll have a great game 3 or game 2 and then disappear on you the game after, or have a big half, like 26 in the first half and 4 in the second half. Like he's just so up and down sometimes. I think if he had never gotten hurt, we'd be a whole different story. That leg injury he had was brutal. The fact that he's even doing this now is pretty remarkable.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely tough. It's definitely closer than I'm making it.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I gotta rip that band.
No slouch.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? He's a 6'8", and he's the best defender of all three for sure.
I know that's what makes it tough, right?
That's what's really because you're getting way more defense with Paul George.
Yeah,
like he can guard your best player and try and get you 20, which is a lot to ask.
Yeah, for sure. But
so
if we agree he's getting benched, when you come off the bench, am I getting 20 or am I just getting like a hustle? You boarded here, you made some assists, you hit a couple shots. What type of with either D Mitch or Dame off my bench? I know I'm getting pure gas.
Pure gas. You're not seeing the rock for the next 6 possessions. I'm shooting this thing.
But I bought you in for that.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
Yeah,
that's literally why you're here. Yeah. I agree. Okay, cool. We're on the same page. So we basically have the same list. We just flipped Dame and Donovan Mitchell. Okay, cool. Right. Easy. All right. Last little thing we're doing, we got some trivia tonight. All right, I got some trivia questions for you. I need to figure out a title for this segment. I don't have one yet. But right now we're going with the four quarters hoop. Yeah, but right now we're going with the 4 quarters hoop quiz. Keep it simple.
Okay,
hoop,
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? A little hoop quiz.
Okay.
All right. Question 1: which NBA player holds the record for the most career triple doubles in the playoffs?
Most career triple doubles in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's LeBron James.
I think it's actually Magic Johnson still.
Really?
Triple doubles in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure it's still Magic.
Magic was
I think LeBron has the most in regular season, I think, or more in the regular season.
Or all time.
Yeah, or something like that. They be confusing me sometimes with these stats. I don't know when they be counting some stuff, when they don't count shit.
Right.
Like, does the playoffs go into the all-time or all-time only season shit?
Yeah, that's why
you know?
LeBron, yeah.
Maybe ChatGPT just lied to me. Maybe they're wrong. Who knows?
Okay.
We'll blame it on ChatGPT. So right now we'll give you 0.5.
Okay.
Just we gotta fact check that one.
Okay.
All right. Who was the first player in NBA history to record a quadruple double?
A quadruple double?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? I want to say it's David Robinson.
Nate Thurmond.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Wow. Random. I was like, if you got that one, I'd have been shocked.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Question 3.
Right.
Which player won the NBA Defensive Player of the Year 4 times in the 1980s? You're gonna get this one.
Defensive Player of the Year in the 1980s.
He won it 4 times in the 80s. What NBA player was that?
Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, he won it 4 times. There's only a couple of people who won it 4 times ever. He's one of those guys.
It was all in the 80s?
Yeah, in the 80s. That's what it says.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I know who I want to say, but I don't. Did he get deep?
I know you want to. I think I know you want to say 2, and I think go with your gut.
Michael Jordan?
No, it's Mutombo.
Dikembe with Denver. He was getting him that early.
Just getting him that early. He got 4 of the things. Mutombo, yeah.
I was thinking MJ maybe snagged him up from like 83.
Jordan, how many Jordan have?
He got at least 1.
I know he has at least 1 or 2.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This next one's a good one. I didn't know this next one. Who was the only player in NBA history to win MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year?
Only player in NBA history to win MVP,
Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year. She said all 3 jobs. Played, coached, and was executive.
Jerry West?
Larry Bird.
Larry!
People forget about him over there in Indiana.
Yeah.
Those good old days.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Question 5. Which team holds the record for the longest winning streak in a single NBA season?
Which
the longest streak?
The longest streak in a regular season? NBA?
Yeah. What team has it?
Well, I'm pretty sure I noticed. I'm going to throw Jerry West out there again. It had to be those Lakers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Lakers, 33 games in 71, 72. They won 33 straight. That's insane, by the way.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a third of the season.
That's insane.
You just throw away the wins. That's
insane.
There's gonna be a third of our season where we just win. Like every
I remember
game.
when the Warriors had that 20-some game win streak or whatever. I'm like, or even when Miami had it.
Miami, Houston, T-Mac and Houston had it 1 year too. They had got up to like 22, 23
really?
games. Yeah.
It's random.
Yeah.
When they had Yao?
Yeah, T-Mac and Yao.
That was a problem.
It was. Where Ron was starting to mix in there.
Yeah.
They had everything.
Didn't they have Rafer Alston was the PG?
Rafer Alston. Yeah.
It was tough.
Aaron Brooks.
That was that Chuck Hayes off the bench.
Man, they could come at you and wait. What y'all need? You want to get gritty? You want to score? You want to run? What you want to do?
Who was not Corey Brewer wasn't there? Who's the other defensive guy they had off the bench on that team? He was some random guy. He was not. He was solid though. But there's some boys over there.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some boys over there. That was a good time. All right, man. That's an episode down.
All right.
4 quarters, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in.
I'm feeling 4 quarters you right now with a 20%.
Those were tough questions. Those were tough. Those are more like long history questions. I'll have to shorten up the areas a little bit more to give you a better chance. Okay. After we'll do this. We'll do like this season next time, and then I'll broaden to a couple seasons, and then we'll slowly because that was a little too quick.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
that was the whole NBA history. That was tough. I didn't have no half the answers. I don't know half the shit.
Yeah, that was a good little like a pre-combine.
Yeah. Little evaluation test. See where you at.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So now we know. Now I can gauge it, more appropriately.
Okay.
But no, man, thank y'all for tuning in another episode of Four Quarters. We trying to keep this thing moving, keep the clips going. Please subscribe to the YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to 300, and we'll keep this thing rolling. If we can get to 500 by the end of June, we're gonna give a giveaway. We're gonna do a little giveaway. I've already talked to Max. We could give a little scene giveaway. Brand scene, hooking us up, give us some stuff.
NBA tunnel ready. Y'all gonna be looking NBA tunnel ready.
Yeah, looking summer ready for the summertime, man. Getting all the stuff ready for that. So, well, I'll give y'all more information when we get closer to the milestone, but it's coming soon. I'm working on that as we speak. So, yeah, scene giveaway coming up when we get to that 500 subscriber milestone, about 250 away. So, halfway there. So, keep subscribing, keep liking the videos. We appreciate y'all. If you're on Spotify, if you're on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, chime in, say something, give your opinion. We're just talking.
Even if you want to be like, "Yo, Julius Randle is ass," tell me that.
Hey, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. We ain't tripping over here. I tell you this, Julius Randle ain't paying my bills, so I ain't gonna be that mad. I'll tell you that. I'm just doing this for fun right now. We're chilling, so we ain't getting paid like that. We're just having a good time talking.
Man, it's a couple guys.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Four Quarters. Like I was saying, if you're on Spotify, any audio platform, give us a 5-star review. It means the world to the show.
That's right.
Yeah, man. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
4 quarters.
4 quarters. We out.